Okay, in today's video, I just want to recreate this recent setup that we had in Google. We consider this a royal setup because we had a nice healthy pullback on the daily chart where all the averages were in support of it. And that is because we had price above the 200 simple, price above the 50 simple, and then the 513 EMA combo was in a buy mode with the 5, which is the blue line, clearly above the 13. So when we had that pullback, we knew it was a higher probability trade setup. Now, it hit, it held, it triggered, and if we continue to hold above here, our potential upside targets initially are going to be 20071, and then the second target would be 20421, and then actually if you needed a third target, that would be the 2618 extension target at 21434. Okay, but let's go back to a blank chart and I'll show you how we came up with this. So there's Google. All right. Now, one of the things that we always look at on these trade setups are price projections or symmetry projections. That's where we're using the three-pointed tool, and that's where we're comparing swings in the same direction, kind of like this. You know, if I'm taking this prior high to low and I'm comparing it to this prior high to low. A lot of times you'll find that some of these swings are very similar to others, and it helps you identify a key support decision. So let's go ahead and just run that to start with. So let's go here. This, I believe we're through. High to the low. Yeah, we're through that one. So we're just going to get rid of that. If we take this prior high to low, you can see that that comes in below, but there's also a swing inside of that swing there. Okay, and that comes in a little bit higher. And then let's try this swing here, high to low, project from the high. Okay, we're a little bit above that. And then there's a swing or two swings inside of here. So this high to low. Okay, that's even closer. This high to low we might be through, but let's try it. Yeah, we're through that one, so we're going to get rid of it. Then we have, let's see, another high to low we can run right here. All right, that comes in below. This high to low here. That one comes in definitely a bit closer. You can also use the slightly larger swing, so that high to that low. Okay, that comes in below. Another high to low here. All right, that comes in below, and then here. Okay, so you had plenty of symmetry, and you could have just stopped right here and said, well, I have a symmetry set up, because you do. Okay, but I also like to see if there's anything else that overlaps these areas. So the other things that we're going to do is look for any retracements. So for the retracements, I'm just using the 2 points, and I will measure, for example, this low to this high. Okay, and you can see that there's a 618 in there that overlapped this other area. And then, let's see, the slightly larger swing. Okay, well, these two we're going to get rid of because the market went through it. The other 618 comes in down here. So you can see that there's a few areas that are starting to kind of come together here. But let's see what else we have. So I don't really need to do any more retracements beyond that. But how about price extensions? They're essentially retracements beyond 100%. And I do think we do have one here. And that's going to come from taking this low to this high and extending downwards. So let's grab this low to this high, and boom, you can see that we went through the 1272, but we were still above the 1618 extension. So this was a really nice zone setup, and like I said, it hit, it held. It would have triggered initially, you know, if you used, let's say, a 1 minute chart, you would have triggered pretty quickly, you know, against this support. But today, I believe we actually saw the, well, we saw the 30-minute chart trigger, and the 15-minute chart would also have triggered a little bit sooner than that. But that's how we start with a blank chart and come up with a trade setup. And hopefully, if we continue to hold above here, then I'd like to at least see the minimum upside target at 20071. But guess what? I'm wrong if it comes back down through this support. You have to know when this no longer has value, and it's when it breaks the zone, it doesn't have value anymore. That's it. If you like the videos, please like and subscribe.